So don't worry, be happy. Yes.
Right.
It's a choice. It's a choice. Everything is. So, happy July, first of all. Yes, we made it to July. And off we go. As the temperature outside rises, and we know it sure does, as it hit 100 yesterday, and probably again today, we find ourselves scrambling sometimes to keep cool. So what is your method? Do you go to a cool theater or a restaurant? Keep that heat down. Escape to a cooler climate? Stay in the swimming pool? Refuse to get in your car while it's still really hot out? People do. Or stay in your air conditioning. I gotta say that I am, every time we have temperatures that are high, and I know those of you who have, and most of you do, I'm so grateful for the air conditioning. Yeah. I just am so, remember growing up? You had air conditioning? Yeah. That was in the city, it was hot, but we didn't know. You know? So I'm grateful for the air conditioning, because now I would know. So whatever our response to the physical heat is, this month we're going to look at the whole idea of staying cool in the middle of heat, metaphorically. In other words, how do we keep our cool, our spiritual cool, when our lives heat up, as they sometimes can. And so today our theme is freedom in the fireworks. Yeah. Seems appropriate for this 4th of July weekend. So on this weekend, as we celebrate Independence Day for our nation, we will also be celebrating Independence Day for ourselves, for us individually to experience the personal freedom that can be found in the midst of life's fireworks. Yeah? Yeah. Because here's the truth, the spiritual truth. Within every hot spot, there is a cool grace of spirit. Within every fiery explosion, there is the brilliance and magnificence of source. And within every firework, there is the gift of God's beauty and freedom. It's always there, always. I want to say those words again because I think they're very important. Within every hot spot, there is the grace, the cool grace of spirit. Within every fiery explosion, there is the brilliance and magnificence of source. And within every firework, there is the gift of God's beauty and freedom. Got it? Mm-hmm. All right, so that's where we're going to proceed from today. They're all lovely words. All of the words we speak are lovely words. All of the spiritual stuff we read, beautiful. But what does it mean? Especially, what can they mean when we feel like we are at the center of fireworks? You ever feel that way? Mm-hmm. Sometimes, maybe not often, maybe not you. And you might feel like you are there right now, and it could feel like a health issue, a financial challenge, a relationship predicament, troubles on the job, troubles without a job, unhealed wounds, a deep loss, fear of failure, fear of success, fear of being alone, fear for our country and our planet. You name it, we go through it. At least most of us do. Whatever it is, when you are in the middle of it, when you're hot in the middle of it, you're uncomfortable, and you feel like you just might explode. Kind of like you would feel if you were in the center of a firework. And I know that Veronica will be doing a talk later on, Veronica Parker, later this month. And the title of her talk is something like, would you rather explode or let go? So it kind of like fit right in there. And when you are at the center of a firework, you can't see the beauty that is there. You can't see the freedom that is along the edges. And we got to remember that all of these firework conditions in our life change. They're not permanent. None of it's permanent. There's only one permanency, and we know what that is. We're going to get into it. So I want you to deepen into thinking about how you can connect with the cool grace of spirit, with the brilliance and the magnificence of Source, and particularly today, the gift of God's freedom and beauty. Right there in the center of any firework that's taking place. And if you want to really get in on the secret, or maybe you know someone that needs a little secret of how we can be cool, calm, and centered in the middle of a firework explosion, there's a word. And the secret is horizon. What? You might say, horizon? Oh, you're so good. This is good. I like this. I said the secret is horizon. Or, if you want to know what that means, so that you might tell your friends, because you're not in the middle of any fireworks, then I'm going to elaborate right here, right now. Just think for a moment when you're standing somewhere and your view is not blocked by any buildings or obstructions. How far can you see? You can see as far as the horizon, yeah? And that's it. That's it. You can't see any further than the horizon. Now, in our physical world, we know that the horizon is an illusion. And as we walk toward it, it's always the same. We never reach it. But when it comes to meeting life's hotspots, explosions, and fireworks, our greatest challenge then is to move past the belief that these horizons are so limited, because we tend to believe that what we see are fixed walls. We cannot see anything else but the horizon. There is nothing else. I can see it, nothing else. There is nothing beyond what we can see. And this is where faith comes in. This is where the esoteric teachings, where the infinite knowing and rising above situations comes in. For instance, here's a few specifics related to the challenges that I mentioned earlier. You might say, my expenses are mounting beyond my income. Next month I'll have some very large bills and I have no idea how I'm going to meet them. Or ever say something like this to yourself: I have been let go of my job and I can't find another. There doesn't seem to be any work for me. Or, my partner and I just split up or deceased and I feel so lonely and alone. Or, I feel completely lost in these emotions of these old wounds that are overwhelming me. All of this is part of our human experience. We've said those things. Of course we have, or our friends have if we haven't. Believe, because that is what we do in our human experiences. That's what we do. And those are normal. Just know that. Those are normal human reactions. But we are more than our human experience. We are more than our experiences and fireworks of the day. We're so much more than that. While those may be normal human responses, think about consciousness that they came from, that old consciousness. Each of those sentences spoken as if you believe that the present situation is static, is cold, cannot move, unalterable, and final, right? When you're in those situations, it is as if you believe that the land you see between you and the horizon is all the land there is. This is it. This is life. Is that all there is, my friends, right? So much more. As if when you reach the horizon, you will, as the ancients believed, fall off the edge because there is nothing under your feet. That was a big belief. Remember that?
Yeah.
We've heard about it. I don't know. You see the horizon and you don't go any further because you're going to fall off. Sounds a little ridiculous, but it's no more ridiculous than the belief that at some moment in the near future we will run out of complete supply. That we will run out of ways in which to share our gifts and our talents. We'll run out of love. We'll run out of strength and clarity. That's that feeling of limitation, of lack. And it's for us, yeah, it looks that way, to rise above in consciousness. That is our task. That is why we are here in this moment, to rise above these situations while going through them and still know there is some divine good taking place right here, right now in this situation. When you're in the middle of the fireworks and can only see the horizon and not beyond, we would be well advised to get up a little bit higher so that we can see further out. Right now in your mind's eye, climb up a hill. Just think about that, where you can see so much more than you did down here, unobstructed. And when we're up there, we can also look backwards. Though I'm not a real proponent of looking backwards, in this moment, it can be important. Think about when you were 10 years old. You didn't have all the money that passed through your hands since that time, did you? Most of us would be multimillionaires. And if you stop to think about it, no matter whether you think yourself affluent or not, you have had a lot of money run through your hands since you were 10. And when you were 20, you didn't have all the work and all the opportunities for work that came later. Think about when you first felt love from someone outside of your immediate family. How much more have you felt since then? And think about the first time you felt an emotional storm and how you got through that. And all the strength and courage and clarity you've had since then. I think about those things. It's amazing, isn't it? Some of the things we've gone through. That's why I'm so grateful for this spirituality, because it helps me see beyond the horizon. It helps me. I might forget once in a while, then I have to just take a few steps up to know that there is a bigger picture here. It is not just these conditions, because they will go away. They will dissipate. So why then should you have the belief that the present horizon is limiting? That's it. That's all I can see. There is nothing else. Now that we have looked back, let's turn around and look forward. By doing this, we extend our horizons, which is the secret to experiencing the gift of God's beauty and freedom, right in the middle of all fireworks, all conditions, all explosions. And if you remember these words from Scripture in Genesis, the Lord said to Abram, "Now lift up your eyes and look from the place where you are, northward, southward, eastward, westward. For all the land that you see, I will give it to you and to your descendants forever." Forever. Forever giving. Forever giving of itself. Creation never stops. It's always giving. It's always creating. And we, being the expressions, have that within us. That's the unchangeable part of us. That's the exciting part of us. When we really, truly connect and believe that, it is all beauty. It is all freedom within us. That's never going to change. Never altered. When we stand on a higher place, when we lift our eyes up from the place where we are to a higher place, we can see beyond the moment. We have an extended view of the horizon. It's not real. What we think is real, it's really not real, but we believe it is. All the land that you see is yours. Ernest Holmes says in Science of Mind, this is on page 282, paragraph 2, the range of our possibilities at the present time does not extend far beyond the range of our present concepts. As we bring ourselves to a greater vision, we induce a greater concept and thereby demonstrate more in our experience. In this way, there is a continuous growth and unfoldment taking place. Little by little, we can unfold our consciousness until at last we shall be made free. Free of what? Free of our limiting or heavy thoughts. By staying in the moment, really being present. All the future, all the past, everything is really all present in this moment, right here, right now. So then how do we see beyond the horizon? How do we lift up our eyes? That's the second secret for the day. And it's a surefire, tried and true way that you can lift your eyes from a place where you are to a higher power. Taking that leap of faith, knowing there is so much greater good awaiting us, knowing that we are from this source of all good, and that is our truth. I don't care what we're going through. I really don't. We've all been through stuff. Seeing God in everything in order to embody our concepts today, we must actively train ourselves. We must discipline ourselves. And we have to keep that mind in check. So we look for the good because God is everywhere present. This divine energy is everywhere present. The good of God is everywhere. It's a matter of looking. It's a matter of really looking at a situation and training ourselves to think. This is, well, not to think. This is bad, because that's what we do. That's what I do. This is bad. Or, oh my gosh, this is so terrible. I don't see any way out of this. Or, how am I ever going to afford this repair? How am I ever going to get out of this predicament? But rather, this is the training part. Look for the good instead of focusing on the bad, because that's what we tend to do. Any situation comes up, right to the bad. Look for the good. There's some good here, somewhere in this situation, and I am holding that knowing for myself. And there are so many. We say limitless possibilities. We mean that. So remember, if you remember a couple of months ago, we did a series on pro-annoyed instead of paranoid. So pro-annoyed. So remember that we coined that. And the way to do that is to look for the divine gift in every single situation. It is the only way that we can move forward and really embrace the happiness and beauty and freedom that we are meant to experience, and that we are experiencing more and more as we practice these teachings, using them to live our life consciously, pure consciousness. There's a simple but beautiful story of Mother Teresa, she was once at the airport, and her stressed traveling companion said, "We have a problem with our flight." And Mother Teresa responded, "There are no problems, only gifts. They're either small gifts or large gifts. Which are you offering?" Her friend exclaimed, "Well, I don't know. Our flight is being delayed for 2 hours." So Mother Teresa said calmly, yet she had this mischievous gleam in her eye, "Well, that would be a small gift. I now have time to finish reading my novel I just started yesterday." Always, always, even, it's such a discipline, but it's such a great way to live life, because it changes. The plane comes and takes you where you're going. It changes. You're not stuck at the airport forever. Holmes tells us in Science of Mind, the eternal gift is always made. The gift of God is the nature of God, the eternal givingness. God cannot help but make the gift because God is the gift. So, my friends, God is the gift. And the gift is beauty and freedom, found right in the middle of fireworks of any sort. If you would simply get a higher perspective and see beyond the current horizon to those infinite possibilities, to that limitless potential that always we hold in our minds as a vision. This is our vision. We hold that vision for ourselves while we're going through the fireworks of life. I want to leave you with a letter that was written by Friar Giovanni. He's a 15th century Franciscan monk. And he wrote this to a friend. So this is my letter to all of us, to each and every one of us. And it is my prayer for each one of us. I am your friend, and my love for you goes deep. There is nothing I can give you which you do not have already. But there is much, very much, that while I cannot give it, you can take it. No heaven can come to you unless your heart finds rest in today. Take heaven. No peace lies in the future, which is not hidden in this present little instant. Take peace. The gloom of the world is but a shadow. Behind it, yet within your reach, is joy. There is radiance and glory in the darkness, could you but see. And to see, you have only to look. I beseech you to look. He continues, life is so generous a giver, but we, judging its gifts by the covering, cast them away as ugly or heavy or hard. Remove the covering, and you will find beneath it living splendor, woven of love by wisdom with power. Welcome it, grasp it, touch the angel's hand that brings it to you. Everything we call a trial, a sorrow, or a duty, believe me, that angel's hand is there. The gift is there, as is the wonder of an overshadowing presence. Life is full of meaning and purpose, so full of beauty beneath its covering that you will find earth, but cloaks your heaven. Courage then to claim it. Courage to claim it. And that is all. But courage you have, and the knowledge that we are all pilgrims together, wending through unknown country, home. And so at this time, I greet you, not quite as the world sends greetings, but with a profound esteem and with the prayer that for you, now and forever, the day breaks and the shadows flee away. And I will add personally here that within every hot spot is divine grace. Within every fiery explosion, you come in contact with the brilliance and the magnificence of Source. And within every firework, you feel and experience the beauty and freedom that is divine, and that is your birthright. You just have to realize that that which we see, that horizon that we see, is limiting us. We are so much more. And this is where we deepen our consciousness into believing infinite good is there, available for each and every one of us. It's a conscious choice, and it's a conscious way of living, and is all up to us. We have the freedom to choose. So I invite you to choose peace, to choose love, to choose beauty, and to choose freedom, because that will happen automatically. Happy July 4th, everyone.